The Cowboys may have won the battle on Thursday night in Dallas, but the war is far from over. In fact, New Orleans could even see the Cowboys down the road come playoff time. The Saints' loss came after a 10-game winning streak and after 3 games in 11 days. Look, sometimes when you've been on a heater at the craps table for long enough, eventually you cool off. In totality, the Saints' defense was actually exceptional. They held the Cowboys to 13 points. They forced 7 sacks plus 2 turnovers, and they didn't allow Dallas to score once in the second half. That type of showing will win any team a lot of football games in the NFL. But the Saints offense just never was able to get going. Drew Brees was held to by far his worst quarterback rating of the season in what could only be described as a solid Dallas defensive effort and an off night for the Saints offense.
I've already talked to the defensive line. I've already talked to linebackers. I've already talked to DBs. We want to break down this film ASAP. We want to go on to this next game. So this is something that we have to eat. This is something that we have to break down the film and get better from.
We didn't really find a rhythm for pretty much the whole game. You know, I mean, I guess we may have had one decent drive, but for the most part, I felt like we were just didn't really find a great rhythm with what we were doing.
Sometimes games unfold better than any script that could have been written. It happened last year when Alabama quarterback Jalen Hurts led the Tide all the way to the national championship game before getting benched, and then watching his backup at the time, Tua Tagovailoa, lead Alabama to another title. You can't make this stuff up, and yesterday Hurts had his shot to come off the bench as well. But first, the play everyone's going to be dissecting, maybe even Kirby Smart all offseason, tied at 28, just over 3 minutes of play. Smart calls a fake punt on 4th and 11. The Dogs not even close to picking it up. Ensuing drive, Jalen Hurts gets it done with his legs on the draw. He scored twice in Tua's absence. Alabama all of a sudden takes a 35-28 lead with just over a minute to play. So last chance for Georgia, a prayer from Jake Fromm to the end zone, and it goes unanswered. Bama wins another SEC championship, 35-28. Nicholls visiting 3-seed Eastern Washington in the second round of the FCS playoffs. The Colonels had a 37-yard field goal attempt to take a 17-3 lead into the break. Instead, Lauren Fonseca's kick is blocked. Kendrick Johnson scoops it up, and he's going the distance. 55 yards for the touchdown, has literally only seconds remaining in the first half. Still, Nicholls led at the half, 14-10. Fourth quarter now, though, Eagles leading 20-14. Still a one-possession game for Nicholls, but Dontrell Taylor puts it on the red carpet. Eastern Washington comes up with it, and 2 plays later, Sam McPherson takes the pitch, and he makes it to the corner. Tell you what, the Eagles must be living right because they ran away with it late, 42-21. This game much closer, though, than that score indicates. Here's a look at the New Orleans area schools in the Prep Classic this upcoming week. On Thursday, in Class 1A non-select, number 1 Oak Grove faces number 3 Kentwood at noon. Then on Friday, in Class 2A non-select, number 2 Amite pitted against number 5 Welsh at noon as well. Then on Saturday, in Division 1 Select, it's number 1 John Curtis against number 2 Catholic High at noon. And then the granddaddy of them all, in 4A non-select, number 1 Edna Carr against number 2 Warren Easton at 3:30. An all Orleans Parish affair. Should be a fun weekend of high school football. That does it for us in sports. Stick with us after the break.